do we start off with introductions now, and we'll carry on waiting for a few more people?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Callum, would you like to introduce yourself?
Go on then. So hi everyone. My name's Kallum Flora. I'm a distribution account manager here at TP-Link, looking after our authorized distributors in the UK, and I've been part of TP-Link for about 2.5 years now.
Oliver, where you go, sir?
Hello, everyone. I'm Oliver Draper. I'm the Chief Technical Officer for COP, who are a national distributor throughout the UK. We distribute in security products and networking products, and I've been with COP now for just under 2 years.
Okay. So I'm Andy Blomley. Everybody kind of knows me as Blommers. I'm the product and solution manager for TP-Link, and I also, for my sins, I also run the technical team for TP-Link UK as well. Okay. And right, well, good morning. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce TP-Link. We're also going to introduce some parts of COP security this morning, and we're going to go through some of our products that we feel that fit the security market, and we'll go from there. So, Oliver, please.
Thank you much. So, as Blomley just said, what we're going to go through is obviously talking about who we are, who TP-Link are. We'll start with myself or ourselves at COP, who we are. So, as I mentioned, we are a security distribution company. We were established in 1996, and we've had some rapid expansion in the last few years. So we've taken on a lot new products now. So again, we've got likes of Ajax, Magos, Vimpex, and other things. But we've also established and maintained our current relationship with our existing vendors such as Hikvision and, of course, TP-Link, who we're here with today. Not gonna lie, we have made some waves in the industry in the last couple of years by our growth. We are now up there now with some of the top 3 distributors in the security industry now out there. And we continue. Our workforce has increased by 50%. So again, we are constantly recruiting, taking on new staff as we grow as well. And because of this growth, it means that obviously we're getting more expertise in the industry. We're targeting key individuals to come and join the company. And again, it's able to better assist yourselves as customers. And of course, we offer the full pre-sale support, including installations. And as you see from that slide there, we do host a lot of brands on there as well. Okay. Over to you, Blommers.
So, TP-Link, who are we? So we are a growth network provider. So we have been, we were founded in 1996. We have been growing ever since. Now, there is a wonderful chart called the Gartner Magic Quadrant. I get very excited about that, where all the network providers in the world are compared. And it's actually quite an honor to get onto that slide. And so TP-Link has been on the Magic Quadrant for the last 6 years. And we are steadily moving to the right and up, which is where you want to be. The prestigious places are in the top right. We're currently in the bottom left, but we are moving in the right direction. And TP-Link generally is a company that has come from very much a value tier in terms of networking. But again, we are expanding quickly into the enterprise market, which is where Omada sits. And we are moving into more and more powerful solutions as we mature as a company. And so we'll be covering some of these things off later on in the presentation. But, the full layer 3 stackable switches that we now have, which are enterprise leading, extremely well manufactured PoE switches with a fantastic power budget of 1500 watts for the full 48 port switch. And it's something that we'll cover off in a little bit more detail towards the end of the presentation.
Fantastic. So as Bob has mentioned about the Omada, these are just some of the brands that TP-Link offer. So again, the Omada one is obviously right at the top there under the business section. At top there, you got Aginet. Is that how you pronounce it? Is that right, Blommers? Aginet. Is that how we say that one?
Aginet, yeah. So Aginet is our ISP brand. So it's very much sitting within the ISP business unit, and that means that rather than just having a standard domestic router that TP-Link is very well known for, the Aginet brand allows for remote management, and we actually have a full remote management, which is a TR069 solution, which allows you to sit down and remote configure all of those routers, remote install them as well. So you can actually take a router box fresh straight out, plug it in, and it will automatically configure itself within the Aginet portfolio.
Oh, is that like the TR69
Yes.
protocol? Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, so for those of you who may not be aware of that, essentially when you've ever ordered a broadband router from your provider, whether it's Sky, Talk, Plusnet, and you plug it in, it just works. It's the same sort of concept to that. Along the top there, I can see also got Vigi as well. Vigi is the CCTV surveillance cameras that TP-Link I've got out there as well.
Yeah, no. I mean, we're working hard on those. Obviously, we're a challenging brand. We're challenging, other brands in that space. But we're working very hard in bringing out some very, very powerful AI-driven cameras, and I must admit I have a number of them around my home, and I'm very, very happy with the performance of those. They've replaced some other leading brands that I had beforehand, and I've got to say is the optics on them, and also the smoothness of movement on those cameras is really quite special, especially for the cost of the units.
Below as well, we got obviously the consumer unit, so Deco.
Yep.
Consumer Wi-Fi networking devices, which I think most people will be familiar with the Deco stuff, who fit obviously the internal domestic Wi-Fi stuff. Tapo. I mean, I know Tapo quite well. I don't know if any other people on this session know Tapo, but I've got a fair few Tapo products as well, so like smart plugs and things that sort of nature. They are again a really good bit of.
We also do some wonderful, doorbell camera solutions as well.
Yeah, I saw them. Yeah, they look quite interesting though. I was having a quick chat with Nelson before this meeting started. Nelson's the country manager for TP-Link here, and I was having a quick chat about some of the products, and they do look quite interesting. What's the Casa Smart? What's that one?
The Casa Smart, so that is a more enterprise brand for some of our smart plugs, etc. Very much focused at a more B2B market rather than the Tapo market, which is focused very much on the domestic market. So,
okay.
We have a number of, training sockets, for example, which are smart sockets with USB, etc. on there. And they're just a more professional brand than the Tapo one. So very much focused on the B2B marketplace.
Okay. Cool. Fantastic. So what is TP-Link Omada? Well, I mean, for those who might not have seen it, I have done a couple of YouTube videos for our channel on Omada quite recently. It really is a great product, I've got to say. It's been able to remotely access, manage, and commission a network from literally from anywhere in the world, and the advanced sort of things you can do with it. And there are various ways we can host Omada as well, whether that be hardware or in the cloud itself. Again, if you after this session, if anyone gets a chance, jump over to our YouTube channel, take a look. I do a full how to actually set it up, and it really is quite straightforward. Also, soon we will be hosting training sessions on the TP-Link Omada as well fairly soon. Blommers, don't know if you have anything to add on the Omada.
Yes, I mean, so Omada is a full software-defined networking product. So this means that you have the ability, if you've got the Omada gateway, Omada switches, and Omada access points, to configure an entire solution. In fact, without leaving your home, you can actually configure everything remotely on this solution, and just send the equipment to site. And once that kit goes to site, it will automatically connect to the internet. Everything will automatically configure, and away you go. Now, the advantage of this type of solution means that you've got full remote access anywhere in the world to sit down and manage, configure, and change, as well as debugging the solution. You can do some very complicated network designs, and also you've got some very nice functions like captive portal, if you would like as well. So that's the ability to have an open network and control access via either a token access in terms of you put a one-time password in, or you have a username and password that for example, if you're doing a gym, you can actually upload the gym membership information onto our solution, and they can log in with their membership ID and their surname straight onto the system. Again, we use this for hotels as well. It's a very, very flexible solution, very easy and intuitive to use, and it's also something that we'll invest in you by giving you free training on this. In fact, I'm running a training course tomorrow. It's called OCNA. If you're interested in going on to the OCNA training, please jump onto our website, just do a search, TP-Link OCNA, and you'll be able to go into our training portal, look into that, find a training course near you, and then you can just subscribe. It's a free course, it's a 1 day, and we even feed you.
Can't say fair in that. It's yeah, really great course. I came down to it a few months ago. It was absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I reiterate again, Omada, I think it's what Blom has said, it's a flexibility of it as well, what we can do with it. How you can just dial it now and go, oh, I just want to create another wireless network. I'll just create another Wi-Fi network now, and I'm going to grant access for this, but restrict this. And it's, again, really, really great product. So let's actually meet the TP-Link Omada range. Blom, I'll hand this over to you if that's okay. So
we'll
talk about the ranges.
So as Ollie was covering off earlier, we have a number of different controllers. So we have a paid-for cloud. We also have soon to be launched a Omada Cloud Essentials, and that's a free cloud solution. On top of that, we have different hardware controllers. So we start with an OC200, which is designed to cover 100 devices or so. Then we go on to an OC300, which is 500 devices. We're just about to launch an OC400, which is 1,000 devices. We have free downloads of software controllers, which allow you up to 10,000 devices. And then, as it sees on the slide, a cloud solution, which is unlimited. And, if you're happy with the Cloud Essential solution, that's unlimited and free. Okay. So, what can you manage? Well, you can manage your gateways, you can manage your switches, you can manage your access points. So you can have full visibility of your solution. Now, one of the really nice things about Omada is how much it does in terms of self-managing. So, for example, you can ask Omada to actually look at certain devices. And using ICMP, you can ping a device on the network, and say you're pinging a camera, and for some reason that camera stops responding. You can have Omada wait for a period of time, say 2 minutes, and then Omada will automatically reboot that device, and then wait for that device to come up. So if you have a camera that's a little bit sensitive and needs to be rebooted every so often, instead of having periods of time when that camera goes offline, Omada will continuously monitor that device automatically, and when it sees that it's gone offline, it will reboot that device automatically. And that works with cameras, it works with IoT devices. Anything that you want connected onto that, you can actually deliver an automatic reset via the PoE. Okay. So
that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, like I said, just like Blomley said, I mean, for me, hearing that's a big USP for the TP-Link Omada range. I mean, there's many different sort of smart managed switches out there, which can, you can reboot the PoE ports if you've got a crashed out device. And in the security industry, usually it's a PoE camera that's crashed out, and obviously you can't log into interface to reboot it because it's crashed. So sometimes you need someone to physically unplug and plug it back in again. Now, again, as I mentioned, there's other switches out there where you can download and do that. But the fact this does it automatically, I think that's a massive selling point. Because again, usually with the other solutions, you are waiting for someone to actually manually interact with that. And if they're busy with a job or not got time to do that at that moment in time, and it's causing issue for site, the fact that the device just reboots it upon that is absolutely fantastic.
So the other thing is, if you're not happy about it being automated, you can have a situation where you can actually send a message to you to say that device has gone offline, and that can be an email message to you as well. And then you can log into the interface and manually reboot it from the switch as well. So, we have all aspects covered on that. Other things that you can do within Omada. So if you want to extend the length of a connection, you can reduce the data rate on a particular port. So if you've got a gigabit switch and you've put a Cat5 or Cat6 cable longer than 100 meters, you can actually reduce the data rate on that switch, on that individual switch port for that device. And so, if you want to drop it down to 10/100 or just 10 meg to extend the distance, you can do that as a port override as well within Omada, okay, on all of our managed switches.
Which is fantastic. I mean, if you consider if we're looking talking normal PoE IP cameras, you're talking 8 megapixel camera. The maximum bit rate of that is usually in 265 encoding about 8 meg anyway. So you very rarely need to go over the 10 meg. And again, it's giving the installers facility to run these longer Ethernet cables, where sometimes putting a network solution in place, but switching in halfway is not always easily done. So again, a great feature how you can put the ports into extended mode or long distance mode, whatever the terminology you use is fantastic. Access points. So again, TP-Link, you've got massive range of different access points for different purposes. I can see high density, wide area coverage, outdoor environments, and indoor Wi-Fi room. Again, Blomley, I'll hand over to you in a moment, but from what I can see there, high density, I think we're talking things like your train stations, your airports, your big places. You've got lots of people in one area, so a kind of potentially a congested area. Wide area coverage, I'm assuming, is got just big open areas where you've got density, but you've got a large area to cover. Outdoor does what's in the tin, and obviously in room is obviously again what does what's in the tin. But Blomley, I'll hand over to you to expand on that.
Yeah, so at TP-Link, we are very proud to lead the technology race. So we were the first people to bring out a Wi-Fi 7 access point, and that was an EAP 773, which we've got on here. We've also got, as Ollie was covering off, we've got EAP 660 HD. So they're Wi-Fi 6 access point, very good in a high density, so a conference room, a very busy office, that sort of environment. You'll put that in. The EAP 773, that's a tri-radio access point. So that covers 2.4 gig, 5 gig, and the new band, which is 6 gig. So, if you've got an area, and we've, focusing a lot of these in education, that, education, is a very difficult for Wi-Fi because of the number of devices quite often within the environment. So having a additional radio gives you additional bandwidth to play with. And so, having these new APs, we're very much focusing those in the education and also hospitality marketplaces. Okay. Then we look at, the outdoor APs, the EAP 650s, etc. Very much designed for covering outdoor places, fully IP rated. So, if you want to cover off car parks and things like that, and you can also use them for point-to-point, point-to-multi-point solutions as well, if you like. One of my favorite access points actually is the in-wall access points. So these wall play APs designed primarily for hospitality have a huge advantage from, in my point of view, is the fact that they have additional Ethernet connectivity on the bottom of these access points. So if you look at the EAP 615, for example, the EAP 615 has 3 additional 1 gig interfaces on the bottom of it, one of which is PoE out as well. So if you want to have, say a meeting room, and you want to have a telephone powered via, within that meeting room, the 615 can be put in that environment. It will use 1 Cat5, and then you will have 3 additional connections at the bottom of it, one of them allowing you to power a telephone or even a CCTV camera. It's an AF PoE, and it's available to work there.
Fantastic. So yeah, a wide range of wireless access points. Do you like the idea of the outdoor Wi-Fi access points? Well, I mean, to mention car parks and things, but even thinking from the lower end of a domestic market, the amount of people that want Wi-Fi in the bottom of their garden just simply cannot get it because the router's inside. And it's something you could put on the outside of your house to get Wi-Fi into the bottom of your garden, just for general sort of Wi-Fi use on your phones and things. It's an amazing feature. And again, not a lot of manufacturers do that.
Yeah, and these access points have great range. I mean, I have one in my garden. We use it for streaming. Yeah, well, I use it for streaming video in my garden. 3 or 4 times a year, we'll have an outdoor cinema event. I'll put my Fire Stick, and other devices do exist, but I'll put my Fire Stick into my video projector, and we'll have a movie in the garden, which is great, and it's all streaming from that access point.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I'm ready. You have to invite me to the next one.
No problem.
So the Omada switches. So go on, boys.
Okay, so again, we have a solution for all pockets, but one thing that we are seeing very much is the push to multi-gig. The continuous requirement for additional bandwidth. And so we have a range of 10 gig routers, full 10 gig fiber switches, and also, uplink ports on a number of our edge switches are 10 gig as well, allowing you to have the best performance and lowest latency on your network. We're also seeing more and more access points, especially the new Wi-Fi 7 ones, requiring multi-gig connectivity. So before, an access point would have happily a 1 gig connection, and everybody would be happy with that. Occasionally, you would need to have, you'd have 2 1 gig connections on those APs. But now we're seeing more and more access points requiring 2.5 gig, and in fact, our Wi-Fi 7 ones have 10 gig interfaces on them now. Also seeing more and more PoE switches requiring not only 10 gig uplink ports, but also multi-gig output on their switches. So we now do a range of switches with 2.5 gig interfaces, as well as 10 gig fiber interfaces. And we will soon be delivering more 10 gig switches as well. We only have 1 10 gig copper at the moment, but we're seeing more and more requests for those as well. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay, I'm going to cover this one off as well because I like.
Please do. Yes, I've had a quick look at this product, and I was very excited when I saw this thing. It was yeah.
So this is an IP rated external PoE powered switch. It can be mounted onto a lamppost and connected up. And so if you've got an existing installation of an IP camera, and you want now to put 2 or 3 IP cameras on the same pole, but you only have 1 connection, you can use this switch very easily. You can plug in a PoE injector, and this is a high-powered PoE injector up to the maximum of 90 watts. And if you've got a 90 watt PoE injector into it, you get 44 watts of PoE power from the other PoE out ports on this switch. So you can quite easily run 2 or 3 cameras from this, and or an access point to go to another link. So this is something that you can retrofit more cameras, or retrofit a point-to-point, or retrofit a wireless access point into the solution very, very quickly. And also, if you want to have high-speed, network connection up to 200 meters, you can also do that, because you've got 100 meters up to the switch itself, and then from that switch another 100 meters, giving you a 200-meter link. Okay.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So the enterprise grade switching.
Okay, this is what I spend a lot of my time working on. So these are our new. Yeah, no, these are our new premium switches, which are fully stackable switches, and they also have an incredible PoE budget. So if you need very high density, PoE switching, these are the switches to go for. I think I covered it off earlier. The 48 port version of this will actually deliver 1.5 kilowatts of power on the PoE ports, which is quite amazing. If you look at a lot of other manufacturers, their PoE budget for their 48 port will be 500 watts or maybe up to 700 watts, but we're double that on our 48 port. We also have the ability to stack these switches. So when you stack a switch, what you do is you build in redundancy. So your config is shared across both switches. So you can then salt and pepper your devices. And if one of your switches dies, the other one will take over the workload, and all the configuration will be across that switch. And that's something that saves a lot of time and a lot of effort, and also creates these virtual clusters as such of stacks. And you can actually stack these switches across their front ports, which means that they don't have to be in close proximity of each other. So you can have a number of these stack switches across in different comms rooms, all redundant to each other. Okay. They're also layer 3. So this is the ability to actually do routing on switches. So if you've got a really large site, you will tend to do routing in the core, and this is what these switches were built for, and they're exceptionally powerful and very, very good at it. Okay, and a good price.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So the Omada routers. So again, for those who've not seen, I did a YouTube not too long on the new 3-in-1, which we'll come into in a minute. But these are some of the other routers that TP-Link offer. Again, Blomley's over to you if you so kind.
Yeah. So on the left-hand side, we have one of our 10 gig routers. So if you've got a large site and you want to have very fast connectivity, we do a 10 gig router. We also have some of our other routers which include wireless in them. Now these tend to be single gig routers, though we do a 2.5 gig as well. We also do these with 4G backup as well. So you can either plug a USB dongle into there for 4G backup, or we actually do a full 4G unit, which you can just put a micro SIM into the unit itself, and the unit will manage all of that. So these are really, really powerful enterprise routers, and they also come with application visibility as well. So application visibility is often talked about as a layer 7 firewall. It actually shows you exactly what applications and how much data you're running. So, you can see how much Teams is using, for example, through your router. You can see how much information is being used on Outlook, or, streaming YouTube videos or whatever. All of that is fully visible, and it's on a per user basis. So you can see exactly what each user is using and how much data they're using. Okay, and then moving over to one of our integrated routers. Okay, here. So this has a built-in SDN controller in it. It has a router built into it, and it also has the ability to have a PoE switch as well. So this is a complete branch office in a box. And one of the advantages of this is the ability to create VPN tunnels. So, and all of our routers allows you to create VPNs between them. And in fact, we're looking at launching a software-defined wide area network product in Q1 next year, which will be enabled on these routers.
Fantastic. And the one I was particularly fond of was this one, the ER7212, the 3-in-1 gigabit VPN Omada router, everything in one. It was a fantastic bit of kit that I had a play around with, and the fact it's all just compact into one box was absolutely amazing what it can do. Again, Blommers, I'll hand over to you to give you a bit more in depth about this particular product.
Okay, as we covered off, it is a 3-in-1, so it is a full router product with a PoE switch, and you can see, we've got a 4-port PoE switch on there with 110 watts of power. You can then daisy chain other switches onto this if you want as well, and other access points. We've got enhanced security. We've got the ability to create VPN tunnels, and we also have the ability to have users log into that unit via VPN remotely as well. And as with all of our products, it's very easy management. It's a click solution, and yeah, it's just all in one, very neat, easy to install product.
Yeah, I found that. I mean, like I say, it's got the Omada controller built into the actual product itself. And the other thing as well for me was the fact it's the PoE Plus on there as well. So you got the higher PoE budget on there than what you get on a normal switch. So again, a lot of CCTV cameras will usually take the standard PoE. However, there are a range of cameras up there that use multi-channel or the Panto zoom cameras, which require a higher PoE budget. And usually installers are either reverting to running a power supply to the device as well as obviously the internet network connection, or they're using PoE injectors. But with this, it wouldn't be required. It's just going to be one direct cable from the router essentially straight to the device itself. So what have we got here?
So this is some of the application visibility. So, as I covered off earlier, being able to see exactly, what a user is using, how much data they're using, when they're using it even, is something that, Omada delivers seamlessly. So this is some, application visibility. In fact, this was taken off for our own office. So you can see, the amount of traffic that Microsoft Teams is using, 3.32 gigs of data. You can say, we've got some Chinese employees because we've got some WeChat, running there. And then if, we look in social media, you can see, we're using Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter a lot to advertise products, etc. And then, just going over to more of the business functionality, looking at what, how much data is being used by Office 365 and Google. So this is the level of detail that you can get with an Omada router.
Yeah, I mean, straight away, I'm just thinking for business intelligence purposes, in a coffee shop retailer, they can see exactly what platforms people are generally using when they go there. So again, it could also potentially help them target what social media platforms are we going to be targeting the most. I mean, it seems a great product to have that level of visibility on there.
Yes. And also you can sit down and you can ban certain things as well. So if there's an application that you don't want on your solution, you can actually ban that application.
Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, the Omada controllers, as it says there, flexible options for centralized cloud management. So we have already covered a little bit about what Omada does and the flexibility. As Bon was saying earlier, the SDN provides two-way management of the cloud-based controller, potentially completely in the cloud as well. So again, you don't necessarily have to host anything yourself at all.
And it's something that we're really pushing as a company.
Yeah,
so we're about to launch Omada Cloud Essentials. Omada Cloud Essentials is a free service. It's an unlimited service. It allows you to put your products in a cloud and manage them. It's a cut down version of our premium service, so it doesn't have analytics and it doesn't have some of the advanced features. But for a lot of companies and a lot of individuals, this is a perfect solution.
Fantastic. So Omada Central.
Okay, so Omada Central is something that we're looking to launch early part of next year. So this is a bit of a preview. So this combines the Omada platform with our VMS platform. So this allows us to not only manage our access points, our switches, our routers, but also to manage our DVRs and our cameras within the solution. And it goes further than that. So, as you can see, we've got a solar-powered CCTV solution, and it will actually report on the battery life of that unit as well, making sure that it's continuously charged, etc. And you can use Omada to set warnings. So, for example, if it's not going to last the day, it can be set a warning to say that you are going to lose CCTV coverage at 1 o'clock in the morning because it didn't get a sufficient amount of charge things. And so all of that can be done. Omada Central is something that we're going to be continually building on. The first part of it is taking Omada, adding CCTV. The second part of it will be adding our IoT platform onto that as well. So this is definitely stay tuned because this is going to get really big really quickly.
Oh, fantastic. And of course we've got the mobile app.
Absolutely.
As well for Omada.
So, and this will also be into Omada Central as well. When I was have been traveling recently, being able to check my CCTV, check my Omada system, check everything is working, etc. remotely has been very important to me. I'm a big IoT user in my own home. I'm a big TP-Link user in my own home. So having the app, being able to check on functionality, maybe reboot something, maybe test something, etc., is really important. And even down to setting the robot vacuum cleaner that I have at home. So before we landed, from our thing, I'd set the robot vacuum cleaner to clean the downstairs before we got in.
Fantastic. And I'm assuming for the app as well. And you mentioned earlier about the router, the facility for 4G failover.
Yep.
I'm assuming the app would also tell you that that's taking place and alert you if that's actually happened.
It will tell you, yes. And the other thing you can do with the 4G, I actually run my house and this call is run on a 5G connection. So we have a range of 4G and 5G routers. I have an outdoor IP68 5G router on a lamppost that I own outside. And that's because I live in a village. We happen to have good 5G connectivity. And I actually have an Aginet. It's an Aginet router that sits there and then goes into my network and drives that network. And my DSL circuit offers backup to that. So if my 5G goes down, it automatically cuts over to my DSL, which is a lot slower. So that's why I use it as backup.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, for myself personally, I've got a fibre to the premises connection, almost a full fibre from my
son will be envious.
Off to England. And even though you say, you get 900 down and 100 meg up, and unlike the FTTC fibre to the cabinet or your ADSL, which has a copper line in there which can disconnect. Even with fibre to the prem, I've noticed on my home it does disconnect, and it's not the link, it's usually the authentication, the ISP, or something's gone on with the ISP where you've gone down. The fact of having that failover to keep you online it is invaluable.
Absolutely. So it works very, very well.
Absolutely.
Omada accessories. So yes, we have a lot of accessories. So as covered off, we have PoE adapters that we can use on our outdoor PoE switches. We also have media converters, and with those media converters, if you're doing a lot, we have a rack mount solution for those media converters. And then we have our SFPs and SFP plus modules, both to copper and also fiber, different specs. And I would say our fiber modules are extremely cost cost effective as a solution, and definitely worth asking for a quote when regards to actually ordering those. Okay,
fantastic. So let's take a look at the platform, the Omada platform. So this looks fairly familiar to myself, and obviously anyone else who's actually used Omada. Very friendly dashboard that I can see from there, giving you a lot of information straight away just from the main dashboard before you actually go into the nitty-gritty of actually having to commission or do anything. Again, Blommers, I'll hand over to you if you like, just to give us a bit of a breakdown of what sort of thing we get on this dashboard.
Okay, so right at the top, you can see exactly what's going on in terms of number of clients, number of guests, number of access points, and number of switches on this network. You can see that we've got some association failures, okay, and we've got some WPA authentication timeout failures, which is something that happens quite often with a wireless network. But the nice thing about it is it shows it really, nice graphical showing exactly what's going on. And before, a lot of these things were hidden from you. So you wouldn't know that this has actually happened. Okay, Omada puts it up there right in front. Below, just at the bottom of the slide is a retry drop rates. Something that's really, really important to see on on a network, in fact, which is what tends to go wrong on networks. When there's a high retry rate, is something when there's that area is congested, etc. And so it's an indication of us to say that maybe you need to look at changing the channel that AP is on, or maybe even relocating it into a better position. Okay, so it's something that we would always look at and add to the solution. Okay,
fantastic. So COP, hopefully most of you know about COP already, but if not, so we are more than just a distributor, it says there. We offer you the best service in the industry. So it says there, bespoke and certified training programs. So myself, I do offer the certification training as well as the TP-Link certification training. The OCNA is coming soon. We offer, of course, bespoke training. So if you do not require certification or something, or you don't want to do a whole day course, you can come in and say, I just want to see X, Y, and Z just because of a project I've got coming up. We offer that as well. Of course, free next day delivery. We do assistance with site surveys and commissioning of systems as well. We do deliver technical training every month. And one of our biggest USPs as well is our free configuration service as well. So we will actually pre-configure the equipment for you before shipping out. If you do order any security systems such as cameras and recorders and things, we just send you a form, you fill it out how you want it set up, what IP addresses you want, what names of the cameras, yada, yada, yada. Our tech team will pre-configure that, send it out, all the boxes labeled, and you simply more or less plug and play. And obviously, you just got to tweak one or two things yourself, because obviously we can't see what the scene's going to be. We also have a no-quibble returns, a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you do order products and it's in resellable condition, within 30 days, no quibble, no questions asked, we will happily take that back for free as well. So we don't do restocking fees or anything like that other distributors do. We'll just do a no quibble 30-day money back guarantee. And we do understand that people do order excessive amounts sometimes when they don't need something anymore. So that's absolutely fine. We are multi-brand fire and security networking distributor. So again, we're not just security, we're not just networking. We do a multitude of different products now, and we're constantly branching into new product ranges as well. So again, keep looking at our website. We have got a new website as well, launching very soon, within the next number of weeks, hopefully, touch wood, so long as everything goes sail on track. So again, our full product range will be on there. And of course, our branch network. So we do have branches in quite a few areas. So we've got Birmingham, Bradford, Manchester and Oldham. Yep, predominantly in the north. However, there will be more branches coming in the future. And of course, our award-winning technical support, this shouldn't go without a mention. Recently just awarded the PSI award for best technical support. And again, I personally feel our company wouldn't be where it is today without our technical support team and the knowledge that those guys have. Again, it's very rare and TP-Link would like this one actually. It's very rare we have to refer to the manufacturers of any issues usually. Usually our tech support team can usually deal with things first time round. I think the only time we've had to really go to manufacturers, and I'm not including TP-Link in this one, we have to go to manufacturers is when there's been a bug or an issue discovered which you just physically cannot fix and it requires a manufacturer to patch or fix something. Other than that, it's extremely rare we ever have to defer onto manufacturer. Usually our tech team can deal with it there and then. On the call itself. So you are in safe hands with ourselves. As I mentioned, you got the tech support there as well with TP-Link as well. You got pre and post sales and obviously the free network surveys as well that TP-Link also offer. Again, what I'll do, I think, actually at this point, I'll hand over to Blommers because this is obviously TP-Link sort of unique things, and he'll be able to offer a bit more insight into these things.
Okay. Well, the thing I'm going to really focus on is the free training and education. TP-Link has enabled me to go out and spend a lot of money on some really, really good people. And everybody that we have joined, we've got industry experts from the CCTV market. We've got industry experts from the Wi-Fi market and networking market. And the first thing they've told me to do is actually sit down and use these people to educate our partners. So, something that I would recommend everybody on this call is come and join the OCNA course. It's a really good course. It very much shows, a lot of in-depth details on wireless networking as well as wired networking, and talks about best practice. And you've got a day to really interrogate my team. So, if you've got any questions that you're always afraid to ask, okay, come along to one of the events. We do on-site technical workshops, we do remote diagnostics and all of that. So, if you want to ask us some questions, we're happy to do that. Okay. Again, webinars and partner webinars, etc. Well, I'm talking one now. Okay. We also have this interesting van, which is a demo van. So we can, you can book that. We can turn up to partner events. We can distribute events with that demo van, which has all of our up-to-date equipment in it. And our sales guys will get allowed to go through that as well. When it goes to quality, one thing I will say is we build a really good product. I make sure that I keep an eye on exactly, what the RMA rate, etc. Our RMA rate on our kit is less than 1%. And in fact, from the kit that we get back, less than 10% of our 1% returned is actually, faulty equipment. A lot of the time, it just hasn't been configured correctly. Okay. We also offer, as we've covered off a couple of times, a really good cloud solution. That is working with our partner Amazon. So that is sitting in AWS in Ireland, and allows you to work on that as well. Okay. Commercial benefits, I'm going to very much pull over to Kallum. So that is, the commercial aspect is where Kallum gets involved in. But just, before I hand that over to him, okay, just a little bit about our lifetime warranty. So all of our enterprise kit will come, apart from our outdoor stuff. Outdoor stuff comes with a 2-year warranty. Everything else comes with a limited lifetime warranty. And that limited lifetime warranty is up to 5 years from the end of sale of a product. So we don't end of sale a lot of our products, but once we announce an end of sale, you've got an additional 5 years from that end of sale point that we will warrant that thing for any problems in terms of manufacture. The only part that we don't cover is water damage. So if you have a flood and your switches has been drowned, that would not be covered by our warranty. But anything else, you just send it back to us, and we even do an advanced return solution, so you can actually have the new one sent out to you before you send the other one back with a small deposit via PayPal. Okay. But if I can quickly cover off, Kallum, you okay covering off the commercial bit?
I am indeed. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Blommers. Thank you, Ollie. Very informative webinar. Hopefully everyone listening in has found that useful. So yeah, there's a few things I want to cover off. So firstly, we have a partner program. So this is a exclusive program to TP-Link partners that you can sign up completely free. On there, you can get access to a number of different promotions, training materials, demo kits, that sort of thing. Also, a deal that we're doing at the moment is a NFR demo kit. So, following, I think in my point of view, we can tell you how good something is, but I think the best way to find out about the product is to test it for yourself. So, you've got the option to order a demo kit, so you have that kit for a month or up to 6 weeks, and then you hand it back, or you can have that kit to keep, so up to 40% off on a selection of your choice items to test out the some TP-Link products. And in regards to some of the questions that came in, we do have some OCNAs coming up. So Graham asks whether there's going to be one in Manchester. We're going to be having one in Telford, which I believe is not too far from Manchester, and that should be later this month. So more than happy to send you the invitations for those dates. As furthermore, as Ollie kind of touched on, we're going to be looking to host. Ollie's going to be trained on OCNA and be presenting, doing those across the COP branches. So keep an eye out over the next few months on those days, and we'll be sending out those invites once they're ready. And that's it. Any questions at all? What I'll do is I'll unmute everyone so people can ask some questions. But I think we do have one question from Graham about the rack mounts. Blommers, is that something you can answer? Oh, do you know what? There we go. Allow mic for everyone. Oh, Blommers, you're muted.
Sorry, didn't realise I'd be muted. So yeah, we're launching rack mount kits for our routers going forward. We're just about to launch our first Omada VDSL router, and that VDSL router will have a rack mount kit with it. We're looking more and more to offer rack mount kits on all of our routers. The 10 gig one is fully rack mounted already. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you, Blommers. Any other questions at all before we wrap things up?
OCNA held in Manchester. So we are holding OCNAs in the north of England. I'm just going to have a quick look to see where we've got them at the moment.
We've got Telford and also one up in Newcastle.
Yeah. So I'm not sure we're doing it in Manchester yet. But there are places that you can think. And if you have a look at training.tplink.com, if I'll put that in the chat, you can go and see where the nearest one is to you.
Of course, once I've got my tick in the box, I'll be delivering the OCNA training as well. So there will be facilities to run it from our branches. Predominantly, we'll probably be hosting the training out of our Oldham branch in Saddleworth, purely because we've got the largest facility there and the largest demo room there to actually host that in. But again, yeah, that'll be held in the Oldham, which is obviously just outside of Manchester, if that's ever in use.
Okay. Any other questions at all?
I'm just seeing Graham typing away.
Yeah, we've got one person typing in there. Definitely prefer to visit Oldham. Absolutely,
okay,
good to hear.
Fair enough.
Cool. Right, keep an eye out for over the next few weeks and months. There'll be a invite going out for an Oldham or Manchester session. Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for attending, and thank you, Ollie and Blommers, for taking time out of your busy schedules to give us a bit of more insights on both COP and TP-Link and TP-Link Omada.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye bye now.